Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow believers. What is up, guys? Remember that intro? That's the real David Hammond intro. What is going on, guys? One of those two. And yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hopefully having an amazing day. It is a beautiful day here in Texas. Very hot. Honestly, not too bad. I've been warned so many times because I used to live in Canada. Used to, as in like 6 months ago, my whole life. And yeah, it does not get this hot. And I've been very thoroughly, I mean, it's been hot, but I think God took it easy on me this year because I've been told it wasn't too bad of a summer because it definitely gets hotter, but only by, I would say, around 5 degrees Celsius. You know, Canada would be around 30. Right now it's around 35. So not too bad. Anyways, though, that's not the point of the video. In today's video, guys, I wanted to speak about a few things. There's been a lot of changes on the channel, and the predominant theme is taking your time, is slowing down, is being okay, smelling the roses. My dad would always say it to me when I was a kid, just, dude, or how many times have you had a grandfather tell you that? Just look at the trees, right? Go outside, touch grass. And it really is that dang phone. Guys, one thing I've noticed with maturity, or at least me, and here's what's so funny, guys, too. This is very important. Because of our westernized world, which was the last video, or 2 videos ago, I spoke about how our downside, our cancer here in the West, especially as men, it's a double-edged sword, because in Genesis we know that man's curse is we are going to work to the day we die, from the sweat of our brow, yes. But there's a very important dichotomy, guys. There's a very important balance, and as I get older, I'll be brutally honest with you guys, this is not something that, like, I necessarily tried to do. It's something that God forced me to do, and it's something I do believe every man, especially as you get in your later 20s, because you have so many more burdens or weight on your shoulder now. My men who are older, 30s, 40s, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The fact that you're married now, you see maybe kids are coming, you've got the mortgage, you've got the house, you've still got your business. You understand, like when you're an 18-year-old guy, you really, you've got all the time in the world, right? Now, obviously not really, but you know what I mean. You have the time to work on your business. I mean, really all you do, when I was 18, all I would do is go to the gym, meal prep, work on my business YouTube channel, and then maybe work part-time, right? I'd work fast food or something like that. You see, the problem is when you get older is you still have those burdens or those, unfortunately, guys, and this makes so much sense too, this is why so many people give it up. They choose one or the other. They either choose or hold on to their dream, right? Which I would argue 95% of people do not. They give that up, right? Or they're forced to hold on to the burdens of the world. Bills, taxes, family, groceries, you name it. And what I'm here to tell you guys is the self-actualized, fully fulfilled man will have both. I mean, because if you don't, guys, right, there's a kind of cheesy quote, but it's very famous. It goes, most people die at 20, their physical body is just buried at 70. You understand? I can't tell you guys how many people that I went to high school with or college with would probably view me, and I mean, that's fine, as like an absolute weirdo, wacko. People who continue to follow their dreams, like it's one, I'm kind of rambling, but this is very important. I'll get to the picture. It's one thing to follow your dreams when you're young, right? People are already going to look at you like you're kind of crazy. Oh, you're chasing music or YouTube or fitness. I was a fitness YouTuber when I turned 18, right? Oh, you're starting an Instagram page, right? That's one thing. But it's another thing when you're a full-grown man. You're in your later 20s, 30s, or maybe 40s, and you're still doing that. Do you see what I'm saying? To manage both, guys, is very rare, and it's very hard. And this is why I'm telling you guys, because for the first time in my life, you see, I've never been married before. I still lived, even when I was, living alone, it was still kind of on my schedule, right? Now I have a wife, I got bills, more bills than just myself, a potential kid coming on the way next year. So things are ramping up. And I've really had to look at myself and really crucify that former version. You see, the former version of David, the former version of you, although it was resourceful for the time being, single David, Paul Lark, single David, worked well for the time being. If you're to get to that next map pack, really what I'm saying is if you're to manage both of these, do you understand? Your dream, and by your dream I mean God's mission for you, right? That, with the responsibilities, pay attention to this video. You hustling and working as a single man can work in your earlier chapters. And I'm not saying, guys, that you're just going to be some lazy monk, meditating on a rock. No, you're going to be working, still like with Adam's curse, to the day you die. But we must be, very important, we got the water with electrolytes and some coffee. The Bible tells us we must be co-laborers with Christ, right? Paul says, I believe it's Philippians 2:12, to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Right now, a lot of workspace people hear that and immediately they're on the defense. It's like, hey, I got you. It means work for your salvation now. It says work out. It doesn't say work for it. You can only work out something if you already have it. I can only go hit legs and work out my legs later today, which I am, because I already have legs. You understand? So where I'm going though, guys, is the next verse, Philippians 2:13. It says, right? I love this dichotomy, right? To work out your salvation with fear and trembling, right? To be on a reverence, right? Stay on that path, right? Be fit for discipleship. Paul says, lest I be disqualified, right? Run the good race. He's talking about his ministry, being fit to teach, right? You want to do that. Okay, great. That sounds like I'm hustling, David. Yeah, there's a balance to that. There will always be work to the day you die. But a lot of people forget the second part of that verse, or the verse right after, Philippians 2:13. For it is he who works in you, both to do his will for himself. I kind of butchered that, but it is he that works in you, God, the Holy Spirit, that's working in you to do that will. Do you understand? A lot of people like to forget, and they think, and heck, this was myself, guys. This is the realization I'm telling you I'm coming to mature, to get to that next map pack, to really, what is that next map pack? Being able to balance both of these. When you're young, you can balance it, right? Because that's all you got. When you get older, though, I would argue 90% of men throw this away, throw their dreams away. Now they're just wage slaves. I understand. Heck, I almost got like that when I worked full-time labor. And where I'm going, guys, is we must learn to stop reaching. We must learn to be present and sit with where we're at and allow God to meet us halfway. We must learn to be co-laborers with Christ. We must learn for God to give us the blueprint, God to give us the toolbox, God to give us the bolts, screws, and nuts, for then us to work with that. You see, the problem is, guys, and I say this from experience, because this is what is very familiar to the average male man in 2025. This is hustle culture. This is the rat race. This is Andrew Tate, bigger Bugattis, Humza, you name it. It's you go get the blueprint and then you create it. And the problem with that, guys, right? Proverbs 14:12 says that there is a way which seems right to a man, but its ends are the ways of death. When we continuously, with our own volition, right? We're kind of saying, God, I don't need you, right? This is really the downfall of man. This was Satan. This is what Adam did. Adam and Eve in the garden, right? I don't need you, God. I'm going to work at my salvation with fear and trembling, but it's going to be me who's doing it within myself for my own good. Not your good. Not you working it in with me, myself. The problem with that, guys, is point blank period, you're going to burn out. It's not sustainable. And I think this is very evident. This kind of goes without saying, but you guys would be so surprised at how many men, even Christian men, who still adopt and hold on to this hustle culture, work, you know, and it really comes down to works-based salvation, but this hustle culture, work for God's approval, like, essentially what you're doing by living in that paradigm, which we know is not sustainable, it will cause burnout, it will cause depression, it will cause a lot of bad things, guys, is you're just not trusting God. Guys, this requires, I don't know what I titled this, but something along the lines of like, you know, let it come to you, just relax, stop. There is such a level of faith in being present with where you're at and not yet having the blueprint. Do you understand? There is such a level of faith in working and being willing to work. This is very, very important, because when I say this, a lot of people I think are going to hear, oh, David, so I'm just going to sit on my butt and twiddle my thumbs until, you know, God pulls up. Yeah, yes, to an extent, but it's not so much a waiting, it's a potential. Do you understand? Think of it kind of like a perfect example is this. I like this, right? Think if you're in a race, you're about to hit the 100 meter dash, right? Now, when you're in that position for that 100 meter dash, right, you're getting ready. Are you technically just like waiting passively? Are you sitting down? When the gun's about to blow for you guys to run, are you sitting? No. You're in that position. There's potentiality. You're ready to move, but you're waiting for God's signal. You're first waiting for the blueprint. You're waiting for the gun to fire to then be a co-laborer with Christ. Many people, including myself, which is why I'm making this video, I've been forced to learn this, guys, not because I wanted to, but because it's not going to work, man. It's not going to work for me to keep going. I was running before the gunshot. Simple. I was shooting the gun and then running and then doing it all over again. And inevitably, guys, it's not going to work. So my encouragement for you guys here today, right? And let me just give you some practical examples of what this is in my life, right? I really had to wrestle with letting go of my younger self, right? The person over here who had all this time, who had all this energy. I really had to wrestle with knowing that that person I can no longer keep up with. You guys, if you're an older man, and I'm only 27, I'm acting like I'm 40, I'm not that old. I cannot keep up with my 18-year-old self in the regard of his race, and you shouldn't. I've had to accept and really humble myself in realizing me working out 6 days a week, being a competitive powerlifter like I used to do, right? Maybe running a bunch of YouTube channels and always just moving. Maybe I'm not cut out for that anymore. And that doesn't mean that you just give up, you do nothing, but maybe it means I have to find a more balanced middle approach. You know what? I'll be brutally honest with you guys. This was very, very, very humbling for myself. Because here's the beautiful thing. God's going to give you that workout plan. God's going to give you what to do. The whole point of what I'm trying to say is by us pretending like we're that younger self, we're shooting the gun. That may have worked for you when you were single, when you were by yourself, but getting older, it's not going to work. When you rest, right? When you're in that season of potentiality, waiting for God's gun, a good quote, guys, goes, and I know I'm going all over the place, a good quote goes, success, understand? Success is when opportunity meets preparation. Success is when the gun shoots opportunity, but it meets you being in that stance. Do you understand? And what I'm here to tell you guys is when we let go of holding on to that gun and we allow God to shoot that gun, we allow God to meet us halfway, our life begins to unfold in a much more smooth way. A lot of times this is very humbling. A lot of times this is realizing, I kind of think like old people, right? Like they need to do different things that the young guy maybe doesn't have to do. You guys like ever went like parachuting or something, or like, I don't know, you were on like a carnival or something like that, and like the old people had to like wear like extra padding, right? The young guy, the little 18-year-old, maybe he just had like, I don't know, like one zip line attached to him and he was fine. But the old people are like, I'm gonna put on an extra precaution. You understand? A lot of times that may happen with you. For me, as of late, I've noticed that maybe I'm assuming just due to not moving as much, being young, you know, being a bit more sedentary, that I've gained quite a bit of weight. I've gained maybe like 15, 20 pounds, and it's probably a multitude of reasons. Being married life. You know, I have a wife who cooks for me now, so food tastes a lot better. But I had to realize that, you know what, David, you're probably gonna have to start tracking your calories. Right? I've been tracking my calories for almost about 3 weeks now. That was very humbling. That was something I resisted for a long time. You know, with my ministry when I was single, I was able to go to all the pride parades and all the events, myself versus 500 people, and just like kind of cook them all, just yell at all of them. And that worked. But that's not gonna work now, guys. If I've got a kid on the way and I have a wife, it's not sustainable. Do you understand? I'm gonna have to change up my ministry. Maybe that means moving back into like what I initially did with apologetics, more of slow style talks, evangelism. Maybe I have a little table now that says, why don't you believe in Jesus? That's not as flashy, right? Do you understand? It's a lot flashier, guys, pretending to be that single guy, powerlifting, out cooking all the Muslims and all this and all that. But I'm here to tell you guys that you are maturing, and you will not be able to sustain it. And to bring it full circle here, right, because I'm going to finish it here, a lot of people may hear this and think, oh, so David, what you're doing is you're basically just giving up. You're now a weaker version of yourself. Maybe to some people they may think that. But what I'll tell you guys is I no longer desire to do those things. Guys, and believe me, because I wrestle with myself, I don't desire to train 6 days a week, powerlifting, every day squatting, benching, deadlifting, max RPE. I don't desire to street preach in front of 400 people, always getting yelled at, spat at, running with the cops all the time. I desire the new that God's giving me. But what I'm here to tell you guys is that on paper, it is not gonna look as sexy. And that's where I finish this video, guys. The whole point of escaping the matrix, the whole point of leaving the rat race is being okay with doing nothing. Being okay being still, being okay not chasing success, not prematurely shooting your gun, right? You're not gonna get you probably will not get as much praise doing this. Taking that more, think of like the tortoise and the hare, that turtle approach, right? Slower, able to maintain better longevity. But I'm here to tell you guys that the older I get, the more I realize that this is the most optimal way to live. It's sustainable, it's more enjoyable, it's less flashy, but you can be a co-laborer with Christ. I promise you guys, the whippersnappers, I look at my younger self, there's a reason it was just a season. That's a rhyme. There's a reason for the season. And the faster you can understand that that season is no longer going to work for you, and that's okay, the faster you will truly succeed. So guys, I'll finish it there. Thank you so much. I have no clue what I titled this video, but something along the lines of being okay taking your time, being okay being in that season of solitude, allowing God to meet you halfway, to then take action. But that action is there because God's already created the path. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not just saying now it's a walk in the park. It will always take free will, determination, and effort. But it's a lot more grounded, and I'll tell you what, man, it's a lot less egoic. All right. So thank you guys so much. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. I'll finish it here with the one plug, guys. If any of you men are interested and would like to work with me on a personal level, there's always discipleship coaching down below. I love speaking with you guys, or you can gift the ministry as well. God bless you. About to film another video. Go for a walk. Do what's in front of you, but stop being so hyper anal and fixated on the next thing, the next business strategy. Dude, you gotta stop. You are being a carnal, worldly, obsessed Christian. You're gonna burn out, and I can almost guarantee you that is not God's will. It may be for a little bit, but it definitely will not be long term. Live a quiet life, work with your hands, and bring people to Jesus. Till then, guys, much love. Peace.